In this video I'm going to look at the first two index laws. So law 1 basically says anything to the power of m times anything to the power of n equals, as long as the base is the same, m plus n is our power. So an example of this would be a to the power of 6 times a to the power of 4 equals a to the 6 plus 4 equals a to the 10. Why? If I say 2 to the power of 3 times 2 to the power of 4, that's the same as saying 2 to the power of 3 is 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 to the power of 4. So we have 3, 4. So in total I have 2 to the power of 3 and multiplied by 2 to the power of 4, and now I have 7 2, so 2 to the power of 7. Law 2 is similar. Law 2 is the equivalent division law. A to the power of m divided by a to the power of n equals a to the m minus n. So in this one, if I had a to the 4 divided by a to the 2, that would be a to the 4 minus 2. That's our law. So that would be a squared. So I can give you an example of this where I write it out so I can explain it. A to the 4 divided by a to the 2 is the same as a to the 4 over a to the 2. So if I expand that out, a to the 4 is a times a times a times a over a times a to the 2. Because this is a division, we can cancel. So if I have a over a, that equals 1. Anything divided by itself equals 1. So if I cancel an a from the top, I'm left with 1. If I cancel an a from the bottom, I'm left with 1. I can do that with the other a. Cancel that to get 1, cancel 1, the equivalent one from the top. So what I'm left with on the top is a times 1 times 1. So that's a to the 2 over 1 times 1, which is 1, and I can simplify that as a squared. So if I do it with numbers, if I have 5 to the 7 divided by 5 to the 4, I could write that out in expanded form. Let's move that up. 5 times 5 times 5 times 5, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So I've got 7 5s on the top, and I've got 4 5s on the bottom. So I can cancel that 5 with that 5. So 5 over 5 gives me 1. And cancel that 5 with that 5. 5 over 5 gives me 1. Cancel that 5 with that 5 gives me 1. Cancel that 5 with that 5 gives me 1. And I'm just left with 5 to the 3 on the top over 1, and I don't need to write that. And if I'm asked to solve that, 5 times 5 is 25, times 5 is 125. But mostly you'll be asked to leave it in index notation. Thanks for that.